In fact, similar to what Phil Chenier wore back in 1969 to 73 with the stripe coming down the uniform. The difference was back then those uniforms were orange with red and white, actually orange with blue and white.
Right, and they were a little bit tighter than these.
So we'll see if this can change the Wizards a little bit as Gortat misses on his first shot. Steve Buckhantz, Phil Chenier, Chris Miller, great to have you with us tonight on CSN and on NBA TV around the country. Wizards lost at San Antonio Wednesday 114-95 after falling at Memphis Monday 112-95. So they've dropped 2 in a row, and they came back from that road trip 1-3. They lost their first game at New Orleans. Then they had a big win at Dallas. Then they kind of got blown out at Memphis, and they were in the San Antonio game in the first half, down by just 3 at halftime, and then lost it in the third quarter.
Yeah, the Spurs just a methodical team. They just wear you down from 1 through 10.
Walker throws it almost into the backcourt, and that will be a 24-second violation. The Charlotte team hung on to beat the Raptors Thursday 109-99 in overtime. That snapped the 2-game losing streak, but that was a big win. In fact, they had a 16-point lead, Phil.
That's right.
Let the Raptors come back and then won it in the OT.
Actually, DeMar DeRozan hit a shot at the buzzer, but Dwayne Casey had already called a timeout, so they didn't count it, and they went to overtime, and that's when the Hornets got the win.
Hornets playing some pretty good basketball, and they're playing without Al Jefferson, and a foul is called, and it'll be on Garrett Temple. Take a look at our Toyota Star Track tonight. We'll keep a close watch on Nick Batum and Marcin Gortat.
Well, Batum nearly had a triple-double in that last meeting down in Charlotte. Gortat, this could be a game that he could dominate. I mean, here's a situation where you have a young backup center that's starting in Zeller with Jefferson being out. Jefferson has had some pretty good games against Washington, so it should be in their favor that he's not here. But Gortat's been putting up some very good numbers, been averaging about a double-double over the last 5 or 6 games.
Charlotte won the first meeting down in the Queen City 101-87. Good balanced scoring. 6 guys were in double figures, led by Jeremy Lamb off the bench with 18 points. John Wall connects. Nick Batum and Kemba Walker had 16 each in that game. They made all 15 of their free throws in that game.
Yeah, we don't want to talk too much about that. Was the game where they just collapsed in the fourth quarter. Zeller on a nice drive. Remember Washington with a season low 6 points in the fourth quarter.
Yep, made only 35.5% of their shots. Wall kicks it out to Kelly Oubre Jr. as the rookie comes up short, gets his own rebound and puts it in. He's got long arms with a tremendous wingspan.
Yeah, and those young legs will show you the hops all the time. Quick to get his own rebound.
Hornets turn it over. They are the #1 team in the league at protecting the basketball. They average only 12 per game. In fact, they were that way last year as well.
Averaged about 11, a little over 11 turnovers last year. So, yeah, they protect the ball.
Three-pointer from Kelly Oubre Jr., who comes off his new career high in the Wizards' loss at San Antonio, where he had 18 points. Sparingly used this year, but with all the injuries to Washington, he's pressed into playing service. P.J. Hairston for 3.
That's been an area that has really hurt Washington, defending the threes.
Game tied at 7. Good pass for Gortat, but his left-hand shot's too strong off the glass. Quick shot up and in. This time it's Marvin Williams in his 11th year from Carolina. Wall. Now he'll take the fadeaway shot, a little bit short.
Talked about the improvement of this Charlotte team offensively. One thing that has stayed constant is their defense. They were among the top in defending last year, and they're that way this year.
Yeah, they've improved greatly on offense as the Wizards turn it over. And back the other end, Kelly Oubre Jr. getting those arms out with a deflection. Temple drives and score the field goal, a blocking foul.
Career start and coming off a game in which he was going against San Antonio, having those 18 points. Talking to him before the game about that, I said, how are you going to build on that in terms of your confidence? He goes, the fact that he's been able to really keep his mouth shut and getting a lot of encouragement from his teammates when he was not playing, maybe sparing minutes or maybe not even playing at all. Says the one thing that he's always had was confidence, and we're seeing it out here already, guys. 5 big points for the young rookie so far.
Yeah, he has a real cool demeanor while he's playing, and doesn't show a lot of concern one way or the other, and I like that about him. So he's gotten off to a good start. 5 points already.
Heck of a drive by Hairston, who's averaging about 5 points a game. Mentioned no Nene for Washington. Bradley Beal's got the stress reaction to his leg. They've got him out for 2 weeks. And now Otto Porter with a thigh injury, unable to play tonight. Drew Gooden hasn't played in a while. So guys like Garrett Temple are going to have to pick up the slack. Walker, Hairston, 7 to shoot. Oubre Jr. went for the steal on Zeller. The tip is up, and he gets his own rebound. And the extra chance is no good.
We talk about long-limbed individuals. Zeller's pretty long as well.
Oubre drives and throws one up, no good. Hornets have won 5 out of the last 7 and 10 of their last 14, including that 14.
And their defensive numbers have pretty much stood pat, so it's a team on the rise.
Steve Clifford, in his 3rd season as head coach of this squad, has done a terrific job. That whole city in Charlotte buzzing with their football team as well. Gortat is struggling in his first efforts. He's 0 for 4 from the field.
And all of his shots have been those shots right in his wheelhouse where he's normally very accurate.
Of course, the Hornets have not had Michael Kidd-Gilchrist after the surgery, and Al Jefferson serving the 3rd game of a suspension for violating the league's drug policy. He's got 2 more to go. He won't be eligible to return until December 26th. As Wall hits again, and the Wizards go back up by 1. Throwback time for Washington with the jerseys that were worn by Phil and Wes Unseld and crew. The uniforms similar to these, a little different in color. The stripes were a little wider.
Yeah, those were the Baltimore days, really. Yeah.
Yep, Baltimore Bullets played at the Civic Center.
Gus Johnson on that team.
Kevin Lockery.
Yeah.
Waxy Don Old. And eventually Earl the Pearl. Wall behind his back. Waits, now takes, and gives it up. Garrett Temple for 3. A little short.
Those are the kind of shots you really try and make teams pay when they don't match up quickly in transition.
Down low, Zeller lost the handle, gets it back. Dudley is there. Quickly to Gary Neal. Done some good things for this Washington team after they signed him in the offseason. Wall will try a 3, and that's good.
Those are the kind of threes you don't mind seeing John take. I mean, he had all kind of time. Defender was well off him and stepped right into it.
It's an 11-4 Washington run, and Wall is 4 of 6 from the field. Walker, screen roll, they kick it back out. Good box out. Jared Dudley, very smart player.
Anytime you can get a rebound flat-footed, you've done a good job screening out. That's what he did.
Yeah, he doesn't jump a whole lot, but he knows where to be.
Hey, if you don't have to, you're more effective staying on the ground.
Another hoop for Wall, who's got 11 points on 5 of 7 now from the field. Wizards by 6. Walker fading over Gortat. Good.
They've improved their three-point shooting, and they shoot a lot more. Last year, shot less than 20. This year, over 28 attempts per game.
Washington now on a 15-6 run, make it 15-9 since back just under 10 minutes in this quarter when they were trailing 10-7. Chris Humphreys in the game for Washington. Looking into the low post for Gortat, and finally he gets one. His first field goal of the evening. He's 1 for 5. Off a couple of screens, it's Walker. Spencer Hawes in the game, and they knock down another 3. This time it's Jeremy Lamb. And 2 Jeremys, a Lynn and a Lamb.
Lamb was the leading scorer the last time they met, but
Ramon Sessions in the game for the first time, and his jumper is good. This is the 12th straight game missed for the big Brazilian Nene, who has a strained left calf. He last played November 27th at Boston. And Drew Gooden has now missed the last 10 games if he's unable to play tonight. Another 3 going up and another 3 going in.
Boy, they've already attempted 11 threes. That's their 5th made 3.
And it cuts the lead to 1. Gortat again trying to throw it cross court to Humphreys. It's knocked out of bounds by Lynn.
Well, it's good to know where your teammates are going to be setting up when you get those blind traps. But you also have to be aware of where the defense is. That time Lynn was in a perfect position. Fortunately for Washington, wasn't able to hold on to it.
Neal. Frank Kaminsky in the game for the Hornets. Rookie from Wisconsin. Walker. Nifty pass, but it was unable to be handled by Hawes. And the Wizards get it on the Charlotte turnover, their 5th of the game. They've won 3 of their last 4 against the Wizards here in D.C. And 3 of the last 6 games between these two have gone to overtime. Garrett Temple, his shot is at Cole Fieldhouse over at the University of Maryland, and then they made the transition to the Capitol Center, which is no longer.
Well, actually, that 3rd year, or at least it was my 3rd year, we started off playing our games at Cole Fieldhouse, and then in December, the Capitol Center was ready, and that's when we moved there.
Lynn, baseline, good pass inside, and it's laid in by Kaminsky. 9th overall pick this past summer after 4 years. Walker pulls up for the jumper, a little short. Air ball saved by Dudley.
This team needs toughness. They need somebody who can put some of these guys like Kemba Walker, when they get in the paint, to put them on their backside. And I think they also need that kind of toughness and a little bit of edge in the locker room, more so than anything that I see on the court in terms of points and rebounds. I'm looking for attitude, and I would like to see more of that. So that's why I would pick those guys over just about anybody else right now.
The only problem with that, Buck and Phil, is the game has changed. You can't touch people like you used to.
That's why you need 2 of them.
So I'm going to go with the original 4-5. I'm going with Phil Chenier.
Yeah, I was going to say, no question who I'm going with. He's sitting right next to me.
Yeah.
See that shooting touch.
I would have loved to see these rules implemented when I played, where you can't touch the offensive player.
Yeah, you can't touch him when he's facing you. That's
but I mean, you could hand check. You could pretty much guide offensive players. So yeah, I was about 180 pounds, so I was a little too light. I blocked from behind.
Yeah,
but
Kaminsky.
I like the idea of West, because keep in mind, you still can set picks, and West was one of the best at about 10 assists and shooting 50%. So that lets you know how well those previous 6 or 7 games were before that.
Yeah, his numbers astronomical before that. Lynn had it stripped away, goes out of bounds. It went off of a couple of people, including the Hornets. And Washington will get it back.
Let me say this, Buck. First of all, I like the way they closed out that first quarter with the stop. They had 7.5 seconds. They didn't let Kemba Walker get a good shot off, and that time did a good job collapsing and forcing that turnover.
Wall drives, kicks it out to Sessions. They go to Gary Neal. Pulls up from 14 feet and rims it out. Lynn tries the paint for Lamb. Dudley there quickly to go out to Sessions running. Splits defenders, lays it up and in. Nicely done.
Boy, sure was. He got some pretty good elevation there.
Gary Neal, Ramon Sessions. Another 3-pointer for the Hornets. Their 6th of the game.
Now they're shooting 6 for 12.
So that, as you said, has been a huge bugaboo for Washington, trying to defend the three. Dudley steps back. Now he shoots and connects. Jared Dudley in his 9th year from Boston College, giving the Wizards almost 8 points per game. And he is right now the second best three-point shooter in the NBA at 47%.
Yeah, that last one, a 2, that was his first shot he's taken tonight, but he finds ways to be effective. He already has 6 rebounds. Hall's with that putback.
Well, those are the kind of rebounds you got to get. Humphries tried to tip it just to keep it alive, and he tipped it right to Hawes. Neal off a screen. That's tipped up into the air, and Humphries saves it. Shot clock down to 9. Neal trying to drive. He's double teamed and in big trouble. Has it taken away by Marvin Williams. Wall gets it right back. Coming into the game, 4th in the league in steals. Dudley again. This one for 3.
Yes, sir. And picking off that attempted long pass.
Hawes' pass picked off. Tried to get it to Lamb. Washington by 1. Wall, nice fake now from 17. That's too strong.
I think Lamb bothered him from behind.
Lynn cut off for Kaminsky. Lamb fires. Dudley, nice pass, beautifully done, but Neal couldn't finish.
I like it when they move the ball, advance the ball, and seldom hits the floor.
Williams from 16. Kept alive. They get another chance.
Guys your movement, because too many bigs move for Gortat to be caught as many times as he is on that moving pick.
Lynn, great pass.
Play, yeah.
And a good block by Gortat. Sessions tried to keep it alive. It goes right to Kaminsky, and they go into the corner for a 3-ball. Another offensive rebound and a putback.
Again, when you have those.
Let's check in with Chris Miller.
Buck and Phil, during that timeout, Randy Whitman was not happy with the guys' effort, especially on the defensive end. Talked about Charlotte dominated the 50-50 balls there, and obviously they did a great job of rebounding. Speaking of the Hornets, Randy really wanted those guys to fix that up on this next possession.
Yeah, they've out-rebounded Washington by 9, 22-13.
Well, remember I said they come into this game last in offensive rebounds. They average a little over 8 offensive rebounds a game. They already have 8. So I'm sure that's what bothered Randy.
Three-point margin, second chance points, quick shot up and in by Jared Dudley. Meantime, at the other end, you saw Lynn get into the paint. They've got 20 points in the paint already.
Yeah, and again, we go back to what we showed you at the outset.
Turnover of the half.
I seem to remember the game in Charlotte started off like this. I mean, a lot of turnovers by the Hornets in that first half.
Wall, the miss. Hornets by 1. Walker stops, pops, and connects.
Again, much in
and Flip was let go. Whitman was promoted to head coach. P.J. Hairston called for the foul on Oubre. Last season, the Hornets went 33-49, 10 fewer wins than the season before. They failed to make the playoffs after reaching postseason in 2013-14 as the 7 seed. Gortat tips it up and in. They have been in the postseason just twice in the last 11 years. But they're off to a good start now with a record of 15-10. Here's Walker. Lynn fabulous move. Jeremy Lin comes off 35 points against Toronto the other night as Wall answers at the other end. Walker.
His opponent there, Walker.
Gortat the rebound. Wall. Garrett Temple connects on a three, and Washington regains the lead by 1. Hansbrough, challenged by Gortat, just missed it. Wall with a quick move, lays it up and in.
Boy, that was a quick move.
First half, Washington has regained the lead. They're up by 3. Steve Buckhantz, Phil Chenier, Chris Miller, our CSN crew, with you tonight on NBA TV. Shot short and tipped up and in.
That call, based on what we saw looking down at it, that's how quick it was.
Good point. Kelly Oubre Jr. comes off his career high in San Antonio the other night of 18. Got his first career start tonight, and he's got 8 points and 4 boards. Lin gets into the paint with a nice pass and 2. Boy, they've been getting in the paint and managing to get those passes off. Wall drive. Wall coming into the game averaging almost 20 points a game, is 22nd in the league in scoring and 4th in the league in assists. Lin with a nice move, and he scores. Beautifully done. 4 of 5 from the field. He's got 9 points. Wall penetrates. Good pass for Gortat, who waits and missed it. Got hit from behind as the Wizards get the steal. And now a 3 ball going up and no good, but Marchand is there. Dudley for Gortat. And he scores with a left hand. He's still checking his head.
He may have got a little cut. I see a little mark on his noggin there.
Washington by 5 with 30 seconds to play in the half.
Good trap there. Forced him to pick up that dribble.
Then Dudley gambled. They get the open man and miss it, but the rebound comes right to Charlotte.
Don't leave until you secure the ball. Kelly leaning towards the offensive side.
Shot clock is off, 10 to play. Walker, nice step back, and he drains it. Kemba Walker.
I tell you, that situation, but I never like to allow the offensive player just to wait the time, you know?
Wall, Temple, good if it goes, and it does! Had 10 3-point range, while the Wizards hit on 4 of 7 from distance, and that made a big difference.
Let's see if they do a better job starting the second half and covering up those offensive rebounds and grabbing those missed shots by the Hornets.
Wizards were out rebounded by 8 in that first half. Gortat. And he's called for traveling, so that is a 6th turnover by Washington. Hornets have won 6 of the last 8 meetings against the Wizards, and in those games, Al Jefferson has averaged almost 19 points and 11 rebounds. He had 14 and 11 in their win in November, but he's serving that drug suspension tonight. And I'll tell you what, Phil, in his stead, Spencer Hawes came in off the bench and did a terrific job in that first half, going 4 of 5 from the field with 9 points.
Yeah, I would agree. He and Zeller, the combination of those two, have been very good. In fact, in the 8 games that Jefferson has missed, they've won 5 of those games. So this team has kind of sucked it up and continued to win.
Temple looking for Gortat, and the Wizards with 2 consecutive turnovers to begin the quarter. Charlotte gives it right back. Temple down court using his body, and he scores.
Well, Garrett Temple sees daylight in that transition opportunity. 9 times out of 10, he's going to try and take it all the way to the basket.
Walker quickly drives on Oubre. High up, misses, and it's chased down, saved by Wall. Wall in the paint. Stutter steps,
move.
great pass for Gortat, has it rejected. Second chance points, 3 of them for Charlotte.
Well, Gortat has to stay in that hole, and he was out at half court.
Nicholas Batum didn't play in their overtime win against Toronto. Healthy enough to go tonight, and they keep it alive with another rebound. Here's Batum, guarded by Oubre Jr. Shoots the 3, and that's no good. Tipped out of bounds by Batum. Washington ball.
What Randy Whitman was saying during that timeout early in the second quarter about losing the 50-50 battle and obviously the rebounding. I asked him about their pick and roll coverage, what they're looking to do, and he said it's player specific. The guys that clearly can shoot, they definitely want them to put the ball in their opposite hand. And then he ended the conversation by looking at me and saying, easier said than done.
Yeah, and when they really have problems is when you have a breakdown, or like we said, an offensive rebound or loose ball recovery. Now they're mismatched all over the place, and they seem to lose some of their concepts.
Here's Marvin Williams, the pass inside, and blocked away. Temple again, driving, throws it up off the glass and in.
Well, that was a tough shot by Garrett Temple, somewhat ill-advised, but when you make them, they're all good.
Washington has its largest lead of the game, 7. And Kelly Oubre Jr. with those young legs up high for the rebound. Dudley's shot no good. This time the Wizards get a long rebound. Wall has 23 points and a turnover. Nice drive to the glass. Endo and Phoenix, and we finally got it straight, at least from his perspective. Batum. Lynn fires a 3. Unbelievable. Tremendous arc on his shot. That thing hit nothing but net.
Yeah, a little bit of carryover from Thursday night when he scored a season-high 35 against the Raptors.
Shot clock at 7. Here's Wall. Fading jumper by Wall is short off the rim. Wizards lead down from 7 to 3. Batum baseline, and that cuts it to
Good seeing you, Chris.
All right, guys, back to you.
They'll never be forgotten.
No. Mike was a great player and a real great teammate. I mean, he was one of the catalysts of when guys would come into town. He would make sure they felt welcome and would have guys over at his house. You know, he's an official. That's the 3rd turnover this quarter for John.
And the 5th turnover overall for the Wizards in the period. Leads to 2 points.
You know, going back to Mike Adams, he's refereeing now, something that you used to do for a little bit.
Yeah, it's great. Gortat with a nice pass underneath from Wall, his 8th assist of the game, so he's got 23 points and 8 assists. That's close to a backcourt.
Let's hope they can kind of get marching untracked. Good no call.
Up ahead, it's Temple. Contact, and Garrett will shoot 2 in the quarter for Washington. And they get it right back. Garrett Temple. Dudley for 3.
Boy, big shot there. Gary Neal with the assist. He gave up what looked to be an open shot to make that one extra pass to the corner for an open three.
Dudley's second of the game. He came in with 31 on the season and ranked second in the NBA as the Wizards are enjoying an 8-2 run. Walker. Three going up and short. Gortat the rebound. Washington by 7 to match their largest lead.
Good pass.
Gortat with the left hand, way short.
Those quick passes force the defense.
Box and field goal percentage at about 55%. He was a good shooter from three, 42%. Chris Humphries back in for Washington. Good Charlotte defense. Humphries stops and connects. Chris Humphries in his 12th year from Minnesota. And the Wizards lead by 8, their largest of the game. Walker gets a screen from Hawes. Nowhere to go. Shot clock at 5. Here's Lynn. For Kemba Walker and a 3-ball that's no good. Ramon Sessions back in the game for Washington. The Wizards have their largest lead of the night, 8 points. 2:20 to go in the third. Gary Neal gets a screen, but he misses. Spencer Hawes back in the game. And a terrific first half. Kaminsky. They go back to Hawes. And now Batum. And they're going to say the ball bounced on the line. It's a Charlotte turnover. And that is their 16th of the game, which so far has led to 23 Washington points. Tremendously uncharacteristic for Clifford's team.
Well, that's right. Their high in turnovers for the year is 20. Oh, and we said they average a little over 12, which is best in the league. But they've been careless tonight. Washington's cashed in, made it to their advantage.
Temple. Humphries with a fake. Now he drives, gets inside, score for a protected second-round pick. And Charlotte nearly turned it over again. It's an 11-1 Washington run. Lynn dumps it inside for Hawes. And it's poked away and out of bounds by Temple, who took a shot in the mouth.
You know, when you're being given up that kind of size, you have to be very active, move your feet, and look for a chance just to strip the ball so you can reset your defense. 4
seconds, and Charlotte scores on the inbounds. Jeremy Lamb gets 2, and that's too easy. Sessions off balance, scores. Their largest. It's a 14-3 Wizards run. Lamb. Sessions running the show. Wall getting a break. Temple. Neal. Gary Neal stops and connects. Play. 14-point Washington lead. Good move by Walker. Decides to go into the corner, and it pays off.
When you get that penetration, especially right down the middle, Kemba Walker has either side he can go to, left or right. Just gives him too many options.
Told you that Kaminsky shot 42% from three-point range last year at Wisconsin. Whistle. And 3 seconds called on the Wizards. That is turnover number 12 on Washington.
Just keep guys in front of you.
Gortat got a piece of
job. They out-rebounded the Hornets in that quarter 10-7. But the turnovers started to get away from him. Let's see if they can start doing a better job protecting the ball, continue with those high percentage shots.
That gives John Wall his 9th assist to go along with 23 points, and for Gortat, 14 points and 5 boards. Hawes shoots, rims it. Wall will try. That's too strong.
Well, they forced Hawes into a very difficult angle.
Down court, Lynn throws it up and missed it. That's off Humphrey's leg. It'll be Charlotte ball with a 24. Sub coming in, it's Jared Dudley back in the game for the Wizards, replacing Gortat. Gortat 5 of 12 from the field. Defensive 3-second violation on Washington will give Lynn a free throw, and they'll get the ball back. Lynn shooting 78% from the free throw line this season. Revisiting our McDonald's trivia question, name the on the folks here at the table.
It won't come from me. It'll come from the other direction. I've lost mine a long time ago.
Del Curry, the pride of Fort Defiance High School in the Shenandoah Valley down near Harrisonburg, Virginia. Dudley from 16. Well, he's been good.
Make him pay.
Jared Dudley's been terrific. He is 5 of 7 from the field, has 12 points.
Also 8 boards.
Lynn, good pass, and he missed it. Hawes couldn't finish. Dudley again. How do you like? Great to have you with us on NBA TV. Wizards 4 games under 500 as Lynn scores. Jeremy Lin with 15 points on 4, or make it 6 of 9 shooting. Four seconds. Neal has to throw it up, hit the rim, but Charlotte gets the rebound. Marvin Williams, they go down low to Batum. Nice move on Dudley. And the rebound to Williams, tied up for a moment with no call, and here's Lynn, penetrates. They go back to Lynn, he'll take the open shot and miss it. And this time Humphries gets the rebound. Wall, quick spin on Walker. Lost the handle and turned it over. And a foul called on Jared Dudley.
Buck John has another 20-10 game, 23 points, 10 assists. That last turnover, his 8th turnover. And again, you know, you've got the lead. Protecting the ball is utmost important now. And keep yourself down, keep yourself in a position to make the decisions, the right decisions.
Lynn lost the handle, Batum collects it. They go to Walker, who drives and scores. 14 points for Kemba Walker. Humphries for 3, no good. Washington's lead down to 11. Sessions down court. Ramon Sessions drives, puts it up and missed it. Walker guarded by Dudley. Now it's Humphries. Batum. Humphries. Sessions drives, lays it up, and couldn't quite get it. A 6-0 run now by Charlotte, and they've cut the lead to 9. Gortat with a left hand.
Good entry pass from Dudley. Once the ball swings out to the top, now you catch the defense in transition, and just a good entry pass.
16 for Gortat. Lynn cut off by Gortat. Batum, 6 to shoot. Batum, good defense by Dudley, better shot. Nicholas Batum, who averages about 16.5 points a game in his 8th year from France. He's got 10. Wall drives have outscored the Wizards 8-2 after Washington led by as many as 15. Wall, 3-ball up and no good. Wizards have been out-rebounded here 42-34 in this game.
That's been another recurring theme, so to speak, over these last 4 games, being out-rebounded badly.
Batum, rebound, no good. Another rebound is up and in. Cody Zeller, and it's a 10-2 run.
Tell you what, that's the second time we've seen Washington have to fight for rebounds inside, and Gortat was caught outside. He's got to stay in. He's got to help with that rebounding, especially now, down the stretch. You want to make sure you give them one and only shot.
Dudley spinning, driving. Gortat for his jumper, no good. Lynn, the open shot, and glanced the rim. Rebound comes down to Temple. Wall pulls up from 16, well short. Hard to tell if somebody got a piece of it. He's mad at himself. It's Charlotte ball.
See, I mean, that's not a bad shot, but when you're up by 7, 8, you know, work the clock a little bit. See if you can get an even better shot. See if you can force them to break down and give you a layup.
Batum spins on Oubre and lays it in, and the lead is 5. Gortat missed the shot. Here come the Hornets. Walker lays it up and in, and the lead is 3. 3-78 with 9:50 to play in this quarter. They've been outscored 14-2. Floater up and in.
At least you had something going towards the painted area. That was a floater that was a little difficult with Garrett Temple able to get it to fall.
19 for Temple. Williams left alone and he missed it. Boy, that's his shot. Wall around the Gortat screen, double team. They find the open man, and now they close on him. Wall for 3. Lynn drives, little contact, and a great pass inside to Batum.
I think he just lost possession of that, and fortunately, ooh.
Wizards by 5, coming up on 3 minutes to play. Career high for Garrett Temple, 21 points. Batum has to give it up. Walker drives. Gortat got a piece of it, but right there to slam it in is Zeller.
putback, their 16th offensive rebound.
Inside for Zeller. Turns and scores, and the lead is 1. Wall got it. 25 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds.
Big shot there. Yeah, big shot for John. But I tell you what, you could not rest on just matching them scoring. You got to get some stops.
Walker, this to tie it. Gortat. .140 to play. Wall. Gortat's jumper got it on the roll.
We'll talk about it in a minute, but yeah, every possession important.
Yeah, and getting the stops, as you said, which they were able to do there. Now you got to try to cash in, leading by 5. Wall dumps it inside on a great pass.
And anticipating his movement.
Washington by 7. Lynn stumbles inside. Now a good pass, and a foul is called. It's a 6-0 Washington run, and the foul called on John Wall. It's number 1 on Wall, but 2 shots are coming.
Well, I tell you, we've seen Zeller all night long moving around the basket and passes just like this, finding him. Again, he's able to keep guards from being in front of him. So John making the block from behind, but also committed the foul.
Misses the first. The Wizards have won 5 straight games at home against Southeast Division teams. They're looking to get one here.
Actually, the Hornets looking for their first win on the road against the Southeast team. Washington trying not to be the first.
Charlotte comes in 4-6 away from home, a record of 15-10. 50 seconds to play. Washington by 6. Wall launches a 3.
There was only 4 seconds on the clock.
Lynn, the Wizards retreat on defense. Walker drives, jump step, scores on the layup.
They call traveling. Yeah, that
no
I
basket.
was going to say. They had to avoid 2 defenders, so he picks the ball up and kind of takes a skip and then a hop. One more look. Dudley just in position to force him to pick that ball up a little earlier than he wanted to.
And a foul, luckily for Washington, as that pass coming inbound was nearly tapped away. So 18 turnovers on the Hornets, 2 away from matching their season high. And it's led to 28 Washington points. Jared Dudley to shoot 2. Depleted Washington squad without Bradley Beal, who's out for at least another week or so, and then they'll check his stress reaction to the leg. Nene missing his 12th straight game. Drew Gooden
Caught Washington after having a 7-point lead.
Hawes to bring it in. That's very close to 5 seconds. Driving and missing. The layup not good, but the follow is there by Williams. Wall is fouled by Lynn with 19 seconds and a 6-point lead. He was 23rd in the league in scoring. He's 22nd coming into this game at 19.5.
And Buck, if for no other reason, the idea of all these guys being out, I mean, that's only adding more minute time to John Wall, who already is, I think, in the 1st or 2nd spot in the month of December in terms of minutes. He has 42 minutes today.
27 in the game for Wall. Washington by 8. Lynn drives. They try to lay it in, and it's blocked from behind. Wall adds to his line as one of the best shot-blocking guards in the NBA. And that draws a standing ovation from this Verizon Center crowd as the Wizards